Hey guys, my name is Reno, and today we're going to be talking about conditional statements and everything related to that. Okay, so first off, starting with the actual conditional statement. The conditional statement is a logical statement that has two parts, a hypothesis P and a conclusion Q. So most of the times it's going to be written in if-then form. If it is, then the if is a hypothesis and the then is a conclusion. So you're going to be asked to write it in words and symbols and sometimes in other places. So we're going to be taking a look at both of them. So words, if P, then Q. Symbol, P to right arrow Q. Here all it says is P, if P, then Q. Yeah, okay, so P to right arrow Q. Okay, next. Here's some practice for you guys to try it out for what we just learned. So what you're going to want to do is write these statements as a conditional statement. A, all birds have feathers, and B, you are in Texas if you are in Houston. Pause the video, try it out, come back, and I'll give you the answer. Alright, now that you're back. A, if the animal is a bird, then it has feathers. So we can't just say if it is a bird, we have to describe what the it is. So if the animal is a bird, then it has feathers. As we can see here, it says all birds have feathers. So if the animal is a bird, then it must have feathers. B, if you are in Houston, then you are in Texas. For part B question, you can see you are in Texas if you are in Houston. We already given the if and the then, so all you need to do is just write it then here and then flip the statements. That's all you need to do for part B. Okay, so negation. The negation of a statement is the opposite of the original statement. To write the negation of a statement, then you need to write the negation symbol, or the tilde, before the letter. So, negation. So, as you can see earlier in the earlier example, we saw all birds have feathers. So, in order to negate this, we would say, not all birds have feathers. That's what negation really does. So, in words, it will be not P. So, as you saw there, not all birds have feathers. P is a hypothesis. Then the symbol, tilde P. Okay, here's some negation practice. This is really easy. So all you need to do is negate the following sentences. A, the ball is red, and B, the cat is not black. Pause the video, come back, and I'll give you the right answer. Alright, now that you're back. So, for the answer. A, the ball is not red. It says the ball is red, so the ball is not red. And B, the cat is not black, so it'll be the cat is black. Alright, so we're going to be learning 4 statements or 4 definitions here. There will be practice at the end, so take notes carefully and really understand this. Alright, converse. To write the converse of a conditional statement, exchange or switch the hypothesis and the conclusion. So here it's not really complicated. You're just switching the hypothesis and the conclusion. If Q then P, it was originally if P then Q. It's if Q then P. Symbols, it'll be Q to right arrow P. Alright, inverse. To write the inverse of a conditional statement, you have to negate both the hypothesis and the conclusion. So, unlike the converse, you don't need to flip it, but as the inverse, you just need to negate both of them. So in words, it'll be if not P, then not Q. In symbols, it'll be tilde P, right arrow, tilde Q. Alright, finally, contrapositive. So, to write the contrapositive of the conditional statement, you have to first write the converse. Then you have to negate both the hypothesis, then the conclusion. So, in order to write the contrapositive, it says that we need to first write the converse. So, as we learned, the converse was just flipping the hypothesis and the conclusion. And then you just need to negate both of them. So, in words, it'll be if not Q, then not P. As you can see, it is negated and it is flipped, as the converse should be. And in symbols, it'll be tilde Q, right arrow, tilde P. Alright, so here's some practice with the 3 terms or 4 terms that we just learned. So, the PB, you are a drum player, and let Q be your musician. Write each statement in words, then decide whether it is true or false. So you're going to want to write it in 4 ways: the conditional statement, P to Q, the converse, Q to P, the inverse, negated P is to negated Q, and the contrapositive, negated Q to negated P. Pause the video, try this out, come back, and I'll give you the answer. Alright, so now that you're back. So first off, it says the conditional statement. So if you are a drummer, then you are a musician. It's true, this is the conditional. So if since you are a drummer, which is you're playing an instrument, you are a musician. Next, if you are a musician, then you are a drummer. That's the converse. That is false. You do not have to be a drummer in order to be a musician. You can play many other instruments. So if you are not a drummer, then you are not a musician. So that is not false. That is false, because you do not need to be a drummer to be a musician. You can be a saxophone player, a trumpet player in order to be a musician. Here it says that you need to be a drummer or else you're not a musician. Okay, so next, if you are not a musician, then you are not a drummer. That is true. That is because since you're not a musician, you can't be playing music, or you can't be playing any instruments. So this is true. Okay, so now moving on to the second and last thing that we're going to be learning today, using definitions. So before we move on to this, we've learned a lot of definitions in the past videos. So here you're going to learn how to use them to explain some claims. So we're just going to learn one thing. If 2 lines intersect at a right angle, then they are perpendicular. So you can also write that as an inverse. So as we learned, the inverse was just the opposite. So if 2 lines are perpendicular lines, then they form a right angle. So the converse, if 2 lines are perpendicular lines, then they form a right angle. Alright, so next, you can write line L, or any letter that's representing the line, is perpendicular to line N. So here it'll be whatever the name of the line is. The perpendicular symbol is it's like this, and then the letter of the second line, which here in this case is an M. Okay, so here's some practice with what we just learned. So this is not just with what we learned. We learned about linear pairs, opposite rays, so many definitions before. So give this a shot. Decide whether each statement about the diagram is true or false, and then you need to explain your answer using the definitions we have learned. A. Line AB and line XY are perpendicular. So here we're given our diagram right here, and these questions are all based on this. Angle AEX and angle BEX are a linear pair, and ray EA and ray EX are opposite rays. Pause the video, give this a shot, come back, and I'll give you the answer. Alright, now that you're back. So the answers. So for number A, yes, AB and line XY are perpendicular. As you learned in the previous slide, we learned that if 2 lines are perpendicular, then they form a right angle. As we can see here, since this is a right angle, this must be a right angle according to our straight angle definition. So if you take a look at straight angle AB or AEB, then this has to be a 90. So that tells us that this is perpendicular. So B, angle AEX and angle BEX are a linear pair. So angle AEX and BEX are a linear pair because they're non-common sides. AE and BE create opposite rays. As you can see, EB is going this way and EA is going this way. So lastly, ray EA and ray EX are opposite rays. Ray EA and ray EX are not opposite rays because ray EA is going to the left and ray EX is going straight up. Alright, now going on to the last topic today, writing biconditional statements. So when a conditional statement and its converse are both true, you can write them as a single biconditional statement. A biconditional statement is a statement that contains the phrase if and only if. So some of the requirements that we need to write a biconditional statement. You need the conditional statement and its converse to be true, then only you can write the conditional statement. So in words it'll be P, hypothesis, if and only if, conclusion. In symbols it'll be P and then a double, it's like a mini line in the middle, Q. So it's P line Q. And then finally, any condition can be written as a biconditional statement. Take good notes of this definition as you're going to be using it in the next slide. Alright, biconditional statement practice. Rewrite the definition of the perpendicular lines as a single biconditional statement. Definition: if the two lines intersect to form a right angle, then they are perpendicular lines. You need to write a biconditional statement based on this. Pause the video, give this a shot, come back, and I'll give you the right answer. Alright, now that you're back. So for the answer, first we need to check if the original statement and the converse are true. So the original statement: if two lines intersect and form a right angle, then the lines must be perpendicular according to the definition, and due to that, the statement is true. Next, the converse statement: if two lines are perpendicular lines, they must create right angles, so this statement is true. As you can see here, we flipped this and this, so giving us the converse, and this is also true. So now that we know that, we can write our biconditional statement. Two lines intersect to form a right angle, the hypothesis, if and only if they are perpendicular lines. There's a biconditional statement. I hope you guys found this video educational, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe, and come back for more educational content.